Away. Hello. Welcome back to the Disky. Welcome back to the podcast, the football podcast. All things Disky buffet to all things football, local content all around. Yeah, man, we're back again with another exciting episode. Thank you so much for the guys who viewed my first two episodes. Ngibonge kakhulu fethu Thando, ngiyabonga kakhulu. And those of you guys who have been tuning in, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep on supporting your boy. Kwamanje angisi-right bafethu yazi kubuhlungu inhliziyo ibuhlungu. I can't express um how sad I am or ngayibiza ngani just ubuhlungu man because there's a lot of emotions right now that we're going through. I feel like everyone feels the same way because of the fact that us as Kaizer Chiefs fans, we were actually riding on this particular encounter. So today we're talking about Kaizer Chiefs, obviously the Soweto derby, Kaizer Chiefs against Orlando Pirates. What can I say, guys? For me, at the same time, I'm not exactly surprised, shocked, disappointed. And I guess when you look at the season, the season that we've had, man, come on. Like isn't to self-explanatory. Like if you know football, if you follow football, you would understand the kind of season that we've had. You would understand why so. You would understand to a certain extent this was coming. You can't. For me, look, I am pro Mangete. Please don't get me wrong. I am pro Mangete, but you can't develop a coach at the same time you're developing a sports director. At the same time, we are developing new players. You are signing new players. Yonke into inje eKaizer Chiefs. Ayikho into engithi sekushoda ngebadge. Kushoda ngebadge nje ukuthi bashintshe ilogo. Uyabona must ibe I don't know, different kind of gold. Basazithola and our club is not the same. So I don't think everyone understands the kind of transition we're going through. And it's hard because obviously people pay their hard-earned money by my data. That's why today I felt like, nah, let me just sit at home and shoot some content. But let's get into it. Let's talk about what happened in this game. What can we take out of the season so far? Because obviously it's done and dusted. Whatever happens in the last two games, there's nothing we can change. Like there's two games left. Pirates are into the finals. Congratulations to them. Once again, they have the opportunity to win 2 trophies. Look, for me, half-hearted. And if you remember, Kevin Hunt, earlier on in the season, he actually alluded at the time when he was actually setting up his team. He was appointed, I think just a week, 2 weeks before the season started, so he didn't have a good preseason. But hear me out. The one thing that was interesting is the fact that he actually said, the rest of us are still catching up. The only team that's second to none to Imamelodi Sundowns, Pirates. At the time, he was looking at the squad. At the time, everyone was still early on. Everyone is still feeling each other out. Everyone's still in their feelings. We all want our teams to win. They were still, nothing had still transpired at the time. He had that to say. And all the other pundits or, so-called experts, now, but okay, look, now we're looking on paper. The signings that they had, it was just a new coach that we didn't understand, Gutuzo Zanani. But across the board, it looked like we'll just have to see, because I would had a different opinion. But Nakona, there was the thing with, hey, man, if they have experience and they've signed well. As a routine, okay, meaning they've spent well on the market. Saling was a surprise signing. Boom. Lodge still around. Ule was still around. They have experience. Abu Monare, they're still around. Makaring Dlamini has a fantastic season. So now, when he says that, and you look at the fact of the squad, and you look at the new players that they brought in, and you're looking at the signings they were trying to instill, like Abu Chukamanja, now there are a couple of games that helped them out. So they have this kind of season that we've seen now. And on the other side, in Churena, like 10 players. We developed the coach. We promoted Ubangete from assistant coach to head coach. And fast forward, look, the things that I'm trying to bring here, guys, just hold on. What I'm trying to make a comparison is that everyone was expecting some sort of, luck can only carry you for so long in football. Football doesn't lie. Football doesn't lie. The truth eventually will come out to Uzoibon. Because as much as we've been playing well as Kaizer Chiefs, you can tell that there's still a lot of work to be done. Because, sharp, we released 10 players, experienced players, mind you. Then we bring in a coach, he's very young. And what do you have? Now you are left with Keegan Dolly, a shell of himself. He came in not having a really a good season the previous season. But now we taking everything we put on him. Kama Pilat as well. Since he's been there, he hasn't been the Pilat of old. Los Mazia from Sundowns. He's been trying to find himself. And also, the signings that we make, man, like signable Solomons, signable this one, buy one get one free kind of thing. You have Solomon's coming in, Umashati, Matlo hasn't been playing much games, even Guswalos. He hasn't been playing, guys. He hasn't been playing. Understand that he hasn't really. He's been coming in as a sub somehow. Okay, sure. They got away with murder. We understand. Maybe there's a reason behind this whole thing because we need players, but we need quality. Bumashati, Bangena Bapuma, we saw a claims, but not really. It wasn't really clear. Our season starts. That's been the story of our season. Our season starts. Our Solomon start. There's always a stop and go kind of thing. There's games we play well, we miss chances. We didn't have a striker then. Dupree was still picking up. They still telling us, yeah, it's adjusting. Okay, sharp, we let it go. Fast forward mid-season, we win a couple of games. We gain a bit of momentum. We buy Caleb. We buy Caleb with the intention of we do an assessment. Remember, guys, there's an assessment that we did. Each and every striker that, or even signing, we bring in Dave Home. Assessment. Even though he was on I think he signed it was a free agent at the time. Yes, he was released by Cape Town City. So at that point in time, you can only tell. You can not only tell, but you can still the sense mangete. Still young, because you can't make up your mind. Because at that time, these clubs are actually signing. There's nothing of trialing. What is that? I love him as a player, as a development coach. Unless we bring in a coach to help him out. I've been saying this the whole season. Get this guy an assistant coach or demote him to an assistant coach so he can gain more experience. Because my thinking is now. Okay, going back to my point. I'll get to the coach. Now, look at the players that we've brought in and you compare with the squad, your Pirates. And they proved it. Regardless of whoever the coach was, they won the empty net. They beat Sundowns in a very, very crucial match, a big match. You need players that have heart, who have game temperament, who can actually win you games, the important ones. You have to beat the best to be a champion. Doesn't matter if we meet you at quarterfinals, semifinals, or finals. At the end of the day, you have to beat the best. So with the signings that we did, and remember, previous season we signed with Soweto as well. They come in, you can tell the tactics are not right. He's experimenting with certain players, possessions here and there. He's mixing a lot of things. We don't have a formation. But one thing we can take out is that we were more of an attacking team, forgetting at the back. Now, for me, Dove is not a left, or he's not a central back. Let's forget left central back. We'll talk about that at another time. He is not a central back. I think maybe Tloko next season will help us. It's been a terrible season. Let's be honest, guys. Look, I love Zwane. I love what he has done in a sense of developing young players. I like the shape, the attacking sense that we've had, or the impetus that is added that we haven't had in a while. We haven't had a team where we can see the offensive ability that we've failed to really, especially transition football, helicopter football, and all these things. But the quality as well, let's be honest. We signed in Mart. I Mart, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. He had a good game today. Let's let's be honest. But what I guess my point is, I know maybe I'm going in circles here, but I think my point is we should have known beforehand that we have a young coach. We brought in a lot of new players and young players at best. Average age is 23 to 29, apart from Mukuni, but average age between 23 to 29. So you can already tell that the Kaizer Chiefs that is expected to win things is not the Kaizer Chiefs of now. It's of a tomorrow. But the question is, are we as fans prepared to wait that long? Big question. Because now we can justify, we can critique, we can point fingers, we can look at our neighbors like, hey, look at what they're doing. But the fact of the matter is, right where we are now, the Chiefs that we have is not of today. Football doesn't work like that. Because now, the Pirates, the players that they've signed, are experienced players. Let's be fair. I'm not making excuses for Zwane or anything like that. Hear me out. All I'm saying is Kaizer Chiefs is a young team. And we can see with Stellenbosch. Young team, they can show promise. You know, there's glimpses of ability here and there. We've seen Zwane in Shabalala. But you cannot win. We've seen Arsenal try that. Arsene Wenger has been trying that for so many years. It hasn't worked. Pep himself doesn't work with young players. Young players are transitioned into a team. They are transitioned to a team. They add a bit of, you know, you don't expose them. You don't just put them in the deep end. They are surrounded by experience and also, mind you, quality players, which is what Madrid does most of the time. You won't see just a young team. That's why you see them still hanging on to Toni Kroos, Casemiro, or Luka. Yeah? So each and every department, you have to have a bit of experience. Bring in a young guy so they can shadow, gel with, learn from, you know, gain that experience, especially when it comes to consistency, which is one of the key things that we've been missing, let's be honest, this season. For me, guys, I want you to be able to go back to where Zwane started. You'll be able to see that even in the MTC, the highest position is ever reached was number 5. Because they've always been an attacking team, but defensively there's always that frailties. They've always had that issue. Those issues have always been there. So for me as a collective, management, the technical team, the players, 3 things for me: management, technical team, players. They have to take the fall for this Nedbank Cup failure. For us not having a trophy this season is because of them. The decisions were not right. They have to admit to themselves. Because you have, how do you justify the fact, okay, you've changed coaches. You're not playing helicopter football, so-called. This is helicopter football light. I mean, sometimes in the last 3 or 4 games, I mean, against Swallows, last second half, we're just throwing balls into the box. Like this cross, man, guys. This cross. There's no combination play. There's no patience. Our players are very impatient when they have box entries. They quicken their shots. Decision making is very wrong when they have to shoot. They when they're supposed to pass, they shoot. When they're supposed to shoot, they pass. This when they have to bury the chances, they miss. I mean, who's this guy? Saile missed very two crucial chances today. Diving header and the other one. So now, hence why I'm saying the players as well have to take the blame to some extent. But now the recruitment and also the coach you have was hired by management. Management, what's the planning around this thing? I think maybe they need to again make us understand what's really going on. So for me, guys, that's what I think what happened today. It's a build up of things or problems that started way before today. Today we were just wishing for some miracle. Let's be honest, most of the Kaizer Chiefs fans, they were all up in arms. They were just waiting or hoping for a miracle. But if I have to be fair, judging from the game today, we played better than Pirates. As much as Pirates had a better squad, they had a better quality, experience, and all these things. But we played better. We created more chances, especially in the second half. Or second half died down a bit, but first half we looked dangerous. But when you look at the fact that that's why I feel they have to look into the fact that they need experience. As much as Dolly sometimes is off key or is off form, but he was needed today. Today he was needed. Um, so for me, those are my thoughts. Please just leave some comments, leave your views. I'd really like to know what you guys think about Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates. Again, to all the Pirates fans, congrats, well done, all the best to the final. We'll see tomorrow who actually advances to the final. But for us, let's just relax. This season, it's been one of those seasons that we really need to forget about, like he said, and let's move forward. But it's good for our football. The atmosphere was electric. But for me, what also was key is the fact that at least now we know that Gauteng still has some sort of support in terms of football. The fans haven't been happy because we know that the Kaizer Chiefs pulls crowds, but the derby showed us a lot that football in our country is still an important. It's part of our lives. It's very important to us. And going to the derby and seeing the mood, the atmosphere, people waking up in the morning today was very electric. So for me today it was a good game. As much as other people are telling us it was mad football. Look, all I can say is if you're going to watch any other team in the DStv Premiership and you feel you're going to look at it as you wanting them to play like Sundowns, then rather not watch. Don't even watch because not every team can play like Mamelodi Sundowns. Not every team will have the same tactics, same quality. This is why that's what makes it very interesting. We want to be able to see what other philosophies of other teams do they have installed. How can they unlock defenses, the kind of quality, individual brilliance. I mean, Dupree. This is what we want to see every game. That's why we watch football in the first place. So for me, if you're going to watch it because you want to have the same kind of football that Sundown is playing, forget it. Forget it. But for me, today, this game wasn't too bad. But obviously, there was times where you're like, hey, there were too many long balls. There's a time where there was too many tackles, a bit of carelessness and rashness. But sometimes I think it's also because of the emotion of the game. You'll never know until you play derby. We don't know. If you played, you'll tell us how is it that we didn't have a shot. I think we had one or two shots on target each per team first half. It's because for me, how even the game was. I don't think it was because it was that bad that one opponent couldn't unlock the other. It's because of the intensity of the game, also because of the history that the fixture has. It has to be a close one. You can't have a 3-0, 3-1, because a lot of emotions come into that. People play their hearts out. And for me, it was a good game of football to watch. and keep on let's keep on supporting our football, guys. For me, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and also for the guys who've subscribed so far. Thank you so much. Please do like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell for more of the videos. See you next time. Hola. Boop, 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 boop. Shop, shop.